Match found.
Valorant. Yeah. He just pushed that rock all the way up the hill, and now he's back down at the bottom, pushing it back up again. But the struggle itself is enough to fill Bone Cold's heart. He's just happy with the journey and the grind. While other players might have just been, you know, content their whole career chasing that goal once, Bone Cold's there for everything. He's back.
See a lot of youth.
Prepare yourselves. We fight once again.
Fight!
Together! Enemy down. Removed.
Dominating.
One dead. You fought well. Eliminated. Good attempt. down. Enemy removed.
10 kills remaining.
Sova removed.
Five kills remaining. One kill remaining. Match found.
One bullet per enemy. That should be enough, yes?
Fight!
In we go. Pardon, monsieur. next. Terminus. I don't think so.
Ten kills remaining. Dominating.
You. Not your best. Too slow.
Five kills remaining.
That's 3. And 4.
One kill remaining. Match found. Choose your agent.
Who is that well-dressed man on the other side? Ah, the other me, of course.
Reloading.
Toxins going up.
Reloading.
Toxin screen down.
Reloading.
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 Here.
Toxins going up.
Enemy A.
Reloading. Reloading. Barrier created.
One enemy remaining.
Toxin screen down. Not recharged yet. Not recharged yet. Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
Healing you. Your tactics failed. Reloading.
They're sorry for my finest. Good. Bring them to me. Toxins going up. Multiple enemy B. Toxin screen down.
Here.
One enemy remaining.
Toxins going up.
A.
Toxin screen down.
Weapon here. Weapon here.
Kunik.
Together.
Sheriff. Kunik.
Gun here.
Toxins going up.
Loading. Blocking sight.
Toxin screen down.
One dead. Reloading.
Toxins going up.
Destroyed.
Flank.
Careful.
Enemy spotted. A. Reloading.
Toxin screen down. Poison orb emitting.
Reloading.
Last player standing. Spike down A. One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left.
Who to smother first?
Jet, I can buy hope. Request hope, Jet. Request hope. Okay.
Toxins going up.
Near side. B, here.
Toxin screen down.
Here.
Poison orb emitting. Poison's off. Toxins going up.
Planted. Barrier
Toxin
clear.
screen down. Toxins going up.
One enemy remaining.
Poison toxin screen down.
Here.
Poison's off.
One step closer.
I must stop their raid.
Reload him.
I need aid.
Get out of my way!
Careful now.
Good attempt.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
You were a boulder. I am a mountain. Continue on our path. It is right.
Here. Here.
Hold them under.
Reloading.
Over uphill. Reload him.
What race? Blocking sight.
Poison orb emitting.
Hey.
Don't get in my
Face your fear!
toxins going up.
One enemy remaining.
Eliminated. Toxin screen down.
If you are not doing well, keep trying. We must keep up appearances.
Viper, I can buy. Viper.
Anyone have funds to spare?
Okay. Okay. Help.
Keep up.
Viper, are you Immortal 1?
Enemy spotted. Blocking sight. All race. Eyes down.
Oh my god.
Take off the spike.
Spike down A.
Going up.
Planted.
Empty. Whoa.
Last player standing.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
If you lose
Hello?
focus,
Hello,
you
can
die.
you hear me?
Breathe when it's over.
No.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Fight!
Red Vietnam. Red Vietnam.
You want to play? Let's play.
Return to that.
Ended. Toxins going up.
Healing.
Poison orb emitting. Toxin screen down.
I know what must be done.
Dad, where are you from? Where are you from? Oh, yeah.
Get out of my way!
Someone's A. Watch your eyes.
Blocking sight. Barrier clear.
Toxins going up.
Flash.
Enemy
Toxin
spotted.
screen down.
Your fault. Planted.
One enemy remaining.
I got your backs. Just, from the front.
Skin please. Skin.
Anyone have funds to spare?
Thank you.
Reloading.
Someone's A.
Toxins going up.
Reloading. Reloading. Barrier created.
One enemy
You
remaining.
fought well.
Reloading.
Thirty seconds left.
Planted.
No one will remember them.
Reload him.
Enemy down. My ultimate is ready.
No, you don't.
Toxins going up.
Careful now.
Poison orb emitted.
Reloading.
Weapon.
Flash.
Toxin screen down. Not recharged.
One enemy remaining. Last round before the switch.
So dead. Either spend all your money or give it to me. Good cause either way.
Reloading.
Give me spike. Then.
Reloading. Keep up.
Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
Blocking sight.
I know exactly where.
Spike down A. Last player standing. Face your fear! One enemy remaining.
NT.
Switching sides.
Their MVP is mine. Let's do this.
I must stop their Reina.
Toxins going up.
No, Viper.
Toxin screen down.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
I'm amped. Let's go. I got things to do.
Toxins going up.
78 jet lah.
Toxin screen down.
Oh my god.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
NT.
Remember, stay out of the fire. Super high level tech to remember, yeah?
Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
One enemy remaining.
My way.
I'll outshine all their radius.
Need a drop.
They are so dead. Come
I know exactly where you are.
Going up.
Eliminate.
Teleport's ready.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Oh my god.
I'm enjoying this. Look, don't start resting. Still work to do.
Get out of my way!
Toxins going up.
Someone see.
Toxin screen down.
Spike planted.
Teleport's ready.
Last player standing.
Enemy removed.
I will choke their sight.
Can someone get this?
Let me show you how the boss does it.
Toxins going up.
Face your fear!
Going up. Watch your eyes.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
You want me serious? You got it.
Toxins going up.
More race.
Toxin screen down.
Your duty is not
Fascinating. I must record this thing.
I know exactly where you are.
Toxins going up.
Last player standing.
These new friends of ours are not too friendly.
Can someone get this? Reloading.
going up.
Someone's A. Watch your eyes!
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Enemy down.
Twitchy here, let's go already.
Careful.
Get some out of here.
Toxins going up.
Goodbye.
Toxin screen down. Enemy spotted B. Toxins going up. Stay down.
Come on, let's go.
One enemy
Toxin screen
remaining.
down. Here. Watching this location.
That's it, right there. Spike speed.
If any of you die, I lose a bet with Brimstone, so don't embarrass me like that, please.
Can someone get this? Thank you.
You want to play? Let's play.
Out of my way.
Get out of here.
Toxin screen down. Here. Not recharged yet.
Enemy spotted A.
Careful now.
Poison orb emitting.
Face your fear!
One enemy remaining.
Three down. Toxins going up. Careful. Toxin screen down.
30 seconds left.
Spike spotted A.
Reloading.
Match point.
Time to say goodbye.
Let's go. Get grounded. Enemy spotted.
Don't get in my way.
Enemy spotted. I ultimated.
Watch your eyes.
Enemy killed.
One more.
One enemy remaining. Spike down. C. player standing.
Nice.
Defenders win.
Was that supposed to be a fight?
Probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah, what a way to curse it.
But I'm not worried about this round because Global Esports, since Pearl, just feel like they've fixed that issue.
Flooding through into it. Spike gonna be dropped down to the corner. Late lurk from Bone Cord. He could do some real damage here. Okay.
I'm worried.
You should be worried, Josh.
I'm worried again.
Yeah, listen. You're gonna get the entire ire of India on you as well if you keep this one up.
It wasn't my fault.
Well, kills are offered up. 3 for 3 still in this round now. 3 versus 3, I should say. And now slowing it down a little bit here for Vitality, making sure that they wait it out.
I think Vitality's composition is usually going to have a lot of utility. But in these early rounds, they can't afford all of it, obviously. So Global Esports should have opportunities to get much better retakes early in the half compared to later. The question is just whether, you know, Sender lands a headshot or Bone Cold finds a pick. And the Global Esports players are not going to have any idea whether Vitality have pushed deep, because they're miles away.
They're contented all the way up. It's always awkward, honestly, retaking this C-side when you don't have any control of the inner workings of the map, the connectors, because you really do have to clear everything carefully. You don't know if they could have pushed up. You can see Aaron making sure it's a slow and steady approach here, just trying to link up with the rest of his team from Waterfall.
Time is going to tick, but Vitality, again, have no util, so no post-plant ability.
Flash to push them through. One player holding a water there. That's Bone Cold to the back. They want to fight this one, and the Sheriff's in their hands. Anything could happen. Run and gun in action, but Aaron, he will win out the fight eventually. Drop down to 17 health, but listen, not as clean as we've seen, at least from Pearl being able to convert those anti-ecos, but it does get converted nevertheless.
There was no need to be worried.
Of course, yes.
There was no need to be worried.
Guys, don't flood my DMs. It's fine.
But yeah, Global Esports, really important that they convert that one. Now, Aaron has been a rock for them to hold on to. It was Texture and Monye really dominating map 2, but Aaron was there solidly the whole time, and he pulls them through in another pistol.
Yeah.
Just like he did to open split.
Let's see what happens here with this next round. So Global Esports not opting to buy into the rifles. It's a much weaker buy from them, just continuing the bonus, keeping it going, seeing what they can get done. A lot of util being used though, and that flash, oh my goodness! Up close, corralled into the corner, slowed all the way down. Twiston is making a Vandal look like a phantom. One yet though up close. Oh my, trigger discipline, just can't quite find a second shot.
Could have been everything, couldn't it?
Yeah, makes it dangerous for them though. Jump peek, SK Rossi taking it again. There's a bit of a Marshall moment. Gun is quite good, by the way.
Any damage done here is actually huge. Rossi could give his team a phenomenal advantage in round 4.
So how does he want to play this one? I mean, he hoovered up the rifle in his hands right now with his Phantom. And he should be playing for the kills, like you said, Josh.
Yeah, I think he wants to be playing pretty aggressively. I don't think saving the rifle here is the right move. But looks like he just wants to take a cautious approach. And that's going to let Twist and Bone Cold Multi, that's going to let those guys off the hook.
Yeah. Maybe not willing to give them potentially any easy kills. Multi is 2 away from his ult, so
yeah, there's always
play close to it.
There is always a risk reward.
Yeah, 3 away from Bone Colds and Twist, and so.
And there's a lot of ways to play for ult orbs on this map. But still, okay. SK Rossi taking the safe approach there. A Vitality, that means that they're going to be able to get a decent buy, but I think this breach flash where you just saw Twist and follow up, that clearly was not accounted for by Global Esports.
No.
So they need to adjust to that. If they're going to commit so many bodies to try and control A, you can't just allow all of you guys to get flashed and stuck in a corner. That was a massive miss. Texture with an operator in his hands, though, was such a major win condition on Pearl. And here we see it again.
Yeah, it might be just that. Once more, that is a heavy stack, though, from Global Esports. Look at that. Essentially leaning 4 of their players over. Obviously, the connector still being played as well by Bazzi, I should say. And they are, once again, pushing up off the back of this drone. Now, they did this prior, though. They did this in a pistol round, so it should be contained and aware. And look at this Vitality. Oh, they've got all 4 of their players ready for the approach, but it is just an absolute slaughter back and forth.
I don't think they were expecting as many of the global players to be there. Vitality have called an immediate pivot into C, but that's the game plan from Aaron. He wants them to run into the nano swarms.
Look at this angle. Operator in his hands, Texture. He's holding for it. The clearance isn't good. Oh my goodness, the spacing just good enough. Still a bit of damage done there through the wall. Bone Cold dropped down to 5 health. The damage is being done now in this 2v3. Still, you can't afford to give up too much. Paranoia play. Twistin tries to just spam the angle that he was expecting a player to swing from. Left down onto that 1v3. Bone Cold would have to really pull out all the stops to be trying to win this one, and it's just not possible. Not with the resources available to him. So, Global Esports, really good options, really good ideas as they're heading into this defense side.
Yeah, I think that round was fantastic. I mean, the triple stack from Global Esports on one side of the map, driving the Vitality players into nanoswarms and the operator on the other side. That is really good. And also, the small mistakes that we were seeing from Global before, where they would line up and give easy spray downs and not be there supporting each other, a lot of that has gone away, almost all of it. And because of the weird situation that Vitality's economy is in, they're almost baited into force buying again. They've had 2 back-to-back rounds where Global Esports has the advantage in the economy. This is scrap metal.
And another clash, though. That's what's going to be happening here towards the A side of the map. That's done. The vault line is there. And yeah, with a bit of spam through the doors. When an Odin's in your hands, I mean, that thing can seem like paper. Still, the fight needs to be taken. You've got to be careful. You don't want to give away too much. And what's going to be offered for them? Well, has to dodge that flash. And as he does, it creates that opening.
It's the same breach flash ruining Global Esports' control over A, and it's opened up a gap for Twistin.
Oh yeah, and just with the door opened up, that one connector, the prior fight being taken, lurks his way in. It's all but over for Global Esports. I mean, Texture's doing a lot, just very disciplined there. He just tries to slowly pick up onto this angle, even a crouch peek as well. Nade pushing them back. I think if you are Global Esports, just want to be saving the weapons that you got here. Don't want to be giving away the operator.
Yeah, if they can play exits, that would be beneficial, just to keep damaging Vitality's economy. But this map, you can just exit everywhere.
It's a lot offered for them, but just to talk about this round, it actually ended up happening as well. A recurring thing that we've seen. Like you said, Josh, that breach flash that's not being dealt with when they fight over that A main control.
It's
I think Vitality's comp is much better at fighting for that early A main pressure.
They have a lot more utility that they can throw into that area, and also, I feel like whether it's players getting blinded or players having to turn away, that breach flash is ruining them. And it might be something where Texture wants to pre-cloudburst the area, just so that
block it off.
Yeah, just to block it off, so that when the flash pops, he doesn't have to worry about it. You just saw it there in the replay. It blooms kind of really high in the defender's sightline, but you could cloudburst that. if you can predict the timing of it.
It's difficult.
Or alternatively, have somebody play from kind of the A site position so that they're anti-flash.
Yeah.
And they can swing, but the angles are awkward.
So we step ourselves now into this round here, round 6. Swing off the Prowler. Oh, that's dealt with. Twiston. Felt like there wasn't too much else behind that one. Maybe just a little bit late with the stun that should have been coming, but
I like this Odin idea from Munya. It is working.
a lot of warbang angles on this map in particular. Saw Cloud getting good usage of it actually earlier in the tournament. A couple of Guardian kills, but it's an interesting round because the ultimates are building up on either side. A lot of tools to work with. You might start to see some of them offloaded.
3 players on the B site, and if Bonecall gets his breach ult in there, those guys will not be able to hold on. It is a tiny choke point though, so risk reward maybe not quite in Vitality's favor.
Wow.
Lockdown being used here seems strange to me because Aaron's still going to be able to back up and pop his nanoswarms off.
It's quite interesting.
And he has a counter lockdown. So is this all just a fake to hit B with the breach ult or the Nightfall?
Looks like there might be a pivot in play yet. There's a Nightfall. Moves them back. No more audio cues from Munyet. And there's a Rolling Thunder. That's used in response. Global Esports pushing them back, but still pushing their way through. Aftershock into the corner. It's going to be causing it to be a little bit more awkward, and time is running so damn low now. The wall's still blocking off these sight lines. Plant's going to go down, and no one really disrupting this up close to the wall. Texture does cover it.
What a shot.
And it has to be heroics. It has to be now. One after the other. The double swing, not spacing themselves out, and it is just crumbling before them. What was an opening, what was an opportunity for Global Esports to at least turn that in their favor? It just crumbles. The same errors we were talking about in map number 1 just rearing their heads there.
Oh, and that's a 4v2. A 4v2 retake, I think, where it all just fell to pieces. Texture did such a good job at hitting the first one onto Estrian. But then this kind of crouch peek play from Buzzy is... no bueno.
Yeah, not too good, but...
Set Sender up for a 4K, holding on, and Vitality now powered up.
So forcing Global Esports down to that eco. Texture one away from his Blade Storm. A heavy stack over towards A. This time, not willing to fight over some of that A main pressure, so they've realized the mistake prior. And they're like, okay, well, we don't really have the util to go pound for pound and try and fight for that control, so we'll give it up.
If they can sniff out the A stack, though, the rest of the map is so weak from Global's defense.
Wide open. You see this positioning being played by Aaron. I mean, he was behind just the bank of sand there, but has to give it up. He does hear that util being used into the front side of B.
Uh-oh. The spike is returning over to away. Global Esports haven't moved an inch.
As he's holding his fall line, I think. Maybe off a bit of util, but revealing a couple of these players, fault line, and a nade as well.
Okay, the pivot into B here makes more sense to me, I think.
Yeah, a lot has been showcased so far, I think. Global Esports making it quite obvious that they've stacked this and out into B. Should be a free plant, yeah, especially with the cove. It's going to be blocking any potential damage. Obviously, the position isn't even there in the first place, but maybe this retake, I think narrow sight lines, narrow angles as well. Could see that the pistols get a bit of work done. Dart pushes the players back now, and Vitality feeling the pressure. It's definitely on. Shorty right up close and personal. Still Twiston lurks his way around, and no one is dealing with this guy at all. Shorty in play. That's going to be that slam dunk. Looking like it could have got a bit dangerous, but no. Vitality win it out. 4 players remaining alive.
And I think at this point in the game, after 7 rounds have been played, Vitality should have a really good read of how Global Esports are playing their defense. And this is where a good attack side caller or a good coach is going to be able to give you a lot of other good ideas for the rest of the rounds. And something that strikes me is that Twiston hasn't been double blast packing into C very much. We saw players do that a lot in some of the previous games on Lotus. I mean, Jing comes to mind, but there were a bunch of other people doing it.
Yeah.
But he has his Razor. There's only really been Aaron holding the C site early on. I feel like that's incredibly abusable. And Global Esports have taken a timeout here, but that also allows Salah to talk to Vitality. And I'm concerned because Global's defensive plan doesn't look too bad, but they're putting a lot of resources into fighting A lobby, and they're still losing that. So that weakens the rest of the map whilst not even allowing them to hold A lobby.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, but they don't have the tools to really execute the plan.
Well, one of the best looks that they have showcased so far, at least, is putting that operator in the hands of Texture. Because honestly, one of the weaknesses of Vitality's comp, I will say, is that this Harbor, this solo controller, you can't smoke just A main and fake that you're pressuring A main. So an operator is really powerful from long sight lines.
Counterpoint. What if SK Rossi on Sova ops?
I mean, that is, okay. Hello, India, I'm ready for it. Let's go. I mean, sure. Why not?
Very unusual. He's probably going to have to send out a recon dart early for some control and then operate. But, I mean, look at Vitality. I think they're going to go for the play that I talked about. Double blast pack with the Razor into C.
Util being dumped through, so control of A. Immediately pivoting. They know that they're pushing up a lot of the player base. Now you can see a lot of the team of Vitality. Dumping a bit of utility through, and now you see it reckoning in a showstopper. Great combination. Clears out the side entirely, and this ult is a little bit
really
awkward
early
there from SK Rossi. Yep, dashing away just to avoid that showstopper rocket that was flying right towards their spawn, but
and one of the problems is, I mean, if SK Rossi had ulted as the plant was going down, then maybe they don't get that one off.
Timing. Oh my goodness, the lurk. Oh, it's all just a bit hidden, isn't it? Monyet, will he be able to be aware of this? Not quite. Sender's reflank has just been brutal for them. Backstabbing them. Moving forwards though, Aaron does deal with this one. Now how does this retake happen? A lot of util, aftershock into the corner. SK Rossi moving up, has the operator. Does he suspect the player is close? Time is running low. Texture trying to stick this now. The raw spam, the random spam. Trying to go for the quick scope, half onto the defuse. No one's dealt with Twiston. And he was just that extra layer that they needed.
Good execution from Vitality. Nice post-plant play as well. And Global Esports finding it very difficult to retake with an op in the hands of Rossi, and the kind of setup here makes it really difficult. That post-plant spot that is miles out in the open. And they're able to get that plant down because there was nobody on C. They're leaving C open super early in the rounds. I think you're probably going to see something similar here from Vitality. If they try and go towards A and they meet too much resistance, pivot C, get a plant.
Yeah, they just want to fight over this one. Again, the double flashes up into the top corner. This time, no Texture. He does have the Blade Storm, and yet backing him up. Paranoia now, going to be ripping through, and it does land on a couple of the targets. All that util being dumped forwards. They're going to be able to win out this fight. Question is, can they fight and claim over this next rifle? Destrian's there, just trying to take the battle to them, making it awkward.
Yeah, they trade a kill but get 2 rifles for it, so it's still good for Global Esports. Double Vandal, 3v3 retake. Vitality are favored for sure, and they've got nice post-plant positions, but it's winnable for Global Esports.
It becomes really hard to try and clear out players who are holding close.
Multi's giving away where he is.
Yeah, it's revealed on a headshot angle though. There's not going to be a re-swing. Dart push back now. Has to be aware that there could be a push, but time, again, starting to run low. These post-plant positions, they got to know that there are a few players there holding it. The timing. Someone needs to start sticking this. Where are the protocols? Where are the layers? A tap onto the spike. It's just so difficult to try and win out now, and left up to Aaron. Will claim a rifle in the middle of all of this one, but another round tallied up now for Vitality. They're going to be getting 6 on the board.
And this is where Global Esports needs to change up the defensive setup. I mean, you can't just do the same thing every time and expect it to work. When Vitality have got the read, I think you need to be putting pressure. Maybe you fight Sand this round, or maybe Texture ops towards C this round, or you go for, you know, a stack towards B and play retake A. I don't know. There are different options here, but the point being that they need to shift. Vitality have got the read currently, and so you see it happen actually. And it looks like Texture is going to be set up with the operator on C, but they've still got the Killjoy utility behind that. Might have been better off putting Aaron on B, but this is a new team, and I'm sure Aaron's scrambling to come up with the adjustments early.
Oh my goodness, Bazzi, given the timing, you can't still be taking that fight though. He does back away with the aftershock, so early kill found. Pretty vital target as well in the form of Twiston, but an instant rotation now by Vitality. They noticed that early utility wasn't being used towards A main. Chances are they're not playing it, but SK Rossi gets some really good mid-round information, and that drone spots at least 2 of the players.
And there's 3 players ready to defend A.
Yep, swarming back onto the site. Operator, Texture pushing forwards, that's a risky maneuver.
And he missed the shot.
Yeah, mistimes, risky timings, and there was a gap into the smoke. The spam. It's just not being afforded, is it? No angles to really play for, and the operator's going to be salvaged, picked up, backed away. Global Esports forced to save for another day.
Vitality looking clean. I like the pivots as they move around the map. I think one of the big things that Boncold's done well here is make his team quick to react to things. When they realize that there's pressure in one area of the map, they're very fast to immediately group and hit somewhere else. They're not trying to play the clock, they're just trying to play the rotations. And make sure they get easy access to sites. Global Esports had the read though, it just... Vitality overwhelmed them as that sloppiness came back into their play.
Yeah. Trying to play retake there. I mean, maybe it's different if Texture ends up landing a shot. This could be really dangerous. With a no-scope, he can't even save the weapons into it.
No, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. Not only do you lose all of your weaponry, but Vitality didn't have to use their Breach ultimate or their Killjoy ultimate. They still have 2 enormous tools to win another round. On C, on B, you know, wherever they want to use them, maybe a post plant A. There are just so many options on this map for how you want to work the ults.
Steadily gaining a lead. Obviously, the map has found itself to be quite attack-sided so far at lock-in.
Yeah, so I
could
guess
bode well, I suppose, for Global Esports, but
how many
honestly,
rounds do Global Esports need?
Yeah, I mean,
4 in the pistol?
4 in the pistol, I think,
maybe
might be the minimum, but we'll see. Still early days, still a new map, a lot of unknowns, but half by. Right, that's what Global Esports have been forced down to, and it's pretty obvious this pressure. That's a paranoia, but doesn't catch all of it. And the Horn has to be dealt with, which resets the aim of Texture. He can't even get a kill out of it. Nano Swarms. Drop down low into the corner, that nade. Aaron forced out wide into the open. Doesn't pay for it with his life. Could spam the common angle, but no, there's a cove in the way, so even the bullets would be blocked. Quite interesting, though. He has managed to lurk his way into a slight timing. But all this util, just slowing them down. Lovely siege just to delay this one. Phone call as well. Right at the back. Angles are being watched for and played for. Even at lockdown, but no, they just wade right into that common angle.
And I think at this point, the defensive ideas are reeking of desperation.
Yeah.
Global Esports with an attempt at a sand crunch, but no one was pushing on C.
Bit half-baked.
Very half-baked, yeah. Needed more sad deflated. But this round, their dominance through to still making a map out of this. Same idea again, the same pressure. Works.
Yeah, already to flash over the top in play. No one was dealing with this one, and yet again, okay.
Bazzi used his ult
element.
there.
Yeah, that was an ult to push them back. I mean, after you into B, you can see the players have already taken up all this space. The spike, though, out in the open. Bazzi just needs to contain this. But they could be anywhere right now. Nightfall now being used for a fight towards A main. Smoke's going to be fading any minute now. And the fight being taken and won right now. Global Esports. They shut that one down. Have to be aware. Bazzi backing away. Peak timing. Twiston's position known. But now it's all down to Sender. Still, looks like it should be an easy one for Global Esports.
Yeah, I think the spike being down made all the difference. Like, trade offer. We take A, you get the rest of the map. Normally not a good trade, but when the spike is down and there's nowhere to pivot,
That's nice.
Global Esports have the advantage. Good double face, making sure Sender doesn't have a crumb of it. And they're 4-8 at the half. Could this still be winnable for Global?
The potential is there. Like we said earlier, it is a bit more of an attack-sided map from what we've seen so far at the tournament, but probably going to need the pistol round as we head into that second half. That's going to be the big question. But before we even get into any of that, the first half is done and dusted. Let's send it down to the desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, fellas. And it was definitely a great half there for Vitality, especially at the closeout, Mimi. I mean, just undefeated until we got to the half.
Yeah, GE really struggled to shut down on their defensive side, and I think a lot of that came down to the read on the game and the way that they were playing towards A long. In, I think, like quite a few of the first 5 rounds this half, we saw this squad going for a lot of these early long fights, but against the composition that has been brought out here for the side of Vitality, it's really difficult to win that. You have the harbor wall to cut off the team, you have those breach flashes to re-push in, and then if you ever lose that fight, you're leaving so many of these gaps that Vitality's mid-round was really good at exploiting.
Yeah, I mean, the mid-round movement that we're seeing here from Vitality has also been fantastic, just getting a sense of where these players are positioned from the side of GE. You saw that shift. It was a thrifty attempt coming through from GE. They're all stacked up on that A site, and they just get a sense of that, immediately cut through, get onto B, get that plant down. It was fantastic for them. Do want to take a closer look, though, at Twisted, who has been impressing. Wasn't sure how he was going to look moving over to the Raze. I actually had to flip back, and I saw that this is his most played Asian, actually, of all time, overtaking his Jet. His Jet looked very, very good on that first map. Was curious to see if it was going to be him or Mulsey picking it up, but so far, he's had a pretty strong performance on that attack.
Yeah, and on the defensive side, the gambits you can have with this Raze is really good. It's, again, going to be a stronger comp at fighting A long. You can fight early space in B. You can get a lot of value out of that nade. But here is where push comes to shove. GE, they have had a great series thus far. They have debuted, proved that India can compete on the international stage, but they're on the precipice of going home. This is where it matters most. 5 out of 5 on pistol rounds thus far. They need to win it again here. This 6-1 will be the most important.
If they can get the 6th, it would be monstrous. Bren making a mention of how so far in this tournament we've been seeing a lot of success on that attacking side. Let's see if that still remains true here for GE. And the pistol was the way that all kicks off.
Yeah, they had found that magic in map 2. Now the question is, can they claw this back and pull off something I don't think Vitality was prepared for in this series? Let's send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
Let's get back into it now. Final map of this series between Global Esports and Vitality, culminating in quite the display. And there's that stat again. 5 for 5 so far for Global Esports with these pistol rounds, and now potentially one of the most important ones they've ever played coming up.
Almost looks like fake pressure towards A, but they are going to follow the flash recon play, at least initially here. Vitality have taken sand, so a bit of a flip in the map.
Yeah, deep position there onto C, and that's pressure being, again, just flooded through now into this B site. Sender, oh, this smoke is just a little bit off in terms of the angle. Tried to take an early fight, doesn't know if they pushed him, backed away. The plan's gonna get off, and this repush, they don't quite claim too many more kills, but Destrian falling is a big one.
This is wonky now, though, because Vitality control every other part of the map. They're gonna ambush Global Esports.
So reflank the post plants, there needs to be some plays being made, and guess what, Munyet steps up to the plate. Hands him an easy kill in the form of Bone Cold. Aaron's reflank is everything, but doesn't buy this time, just backs away. One bullet, and it does the job.
Oh, flanks on flanks for Global Esports.
The IGL just doing the most right now for them. Last player known, Twiston is finished, and that's 6 for 6. A flawless on the pistol round. Beautiful stuff, and it sets off Global Esports on the right foot to try and get even in this final map.
Even if Global Esports end up going out of this tournament in the first round, I think they've showcased that their pistol rounds at a minimum can make matches happen.
Yeah.
Coach and Aaron, the IGL stuff. The post-planning idea too, it's not... Okay, are they aware that Twiston were same thing again?
Close stun. Bazzi looks like he wants to clear it. Yeah, stunned up. There was a crossfire.
Good work.
Almost taken off the head of Bazzi, but yeah, they show a lot of patience with clearing that one.
And that one worked a treat. So good play from Global Esports to clear that out. What is this? The Harbor Circle of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of angle, I suppose, that a player could be wading in and out of, but Paranoia rips across, so doesn't seem like it's going to be too troubling for them. There we go, nice and easy. Another flawless. Prime Gaming at that, and keeping all those weapons going.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Global Esports to have a really dangerous bonus round, because they have just hit them with the prime game in Flawless. I feel like any opportunity the Global players have to get their confidence up is going to be dangerous for Vitality. We saw that momentum build on Pearl, and Vitality could not stop it. Obviously, the halves flipped here. Global now has to do it on the attack side rather than the defense.
This is what they've got to be careful of, though. Vitality, this comp is so good at punishing this, and look at that, the nade was actually landed intentional for any sort of player that might be TPing behind that wall.
Yeah, it was actually a Seize nade as well. It was a crazy lineup from Mulsi.
Yeah, so that's a set play, anticipating that Munyet on the Omen would be TPing across, but no one deals with a Haunt. Lights him up through the wall, and it offers that easy kill, but they do get the 1-for-1.
And I think this breakable wall is such an interesting dynamic on Lotus. Whoever controls this A segment of the map probably wants to break that wall that connects it to B. So the Vitality players don't have any info about whether they could be going through to B. They're having to hold very passively in the 4v4. And from our point of view, we see that Sender might well be under a bit of pressure.
There's a dart, bounces into the back of the site. It's going to be broken, and there is a wall in the face of some of these players. An instant pivot now, though, moving their way into B.
Another gorgeous lurk timing,
Remain
maybe.
and Aaron, wow, it's just watched for.
A second too early.
Yep, the timing just slightly off, and as Util, the Bone Cold is just offering out to them. It's doing quite a lot. There was a cove to block off that angle, but again, feels a bit awkward once more. A bit of panic maybe just being injected into this round, and Sender, he could just anchor this fully for them. Turret dealt with right at the back, the Nanoswarm making sure that he can't be pushed. And it's down to SK Rossi, but Sender again, just that off angle. Perfect crosshair placement.
Damage done, though, on the bonus. And remember that is the goal for Global Esports, is to keep Vitality's economy honest. And I think they've done that. There's going to be, you know, one of the players had to rebuy armor, the other two are on light armor. It keeps things suppressed on the Vitality side. But you do have to be putting important rounds on the board, and this is one of them. Can A-Ring get an ult orb and get some kind of lockdown play going, perhaps? SK Rossi with an operator, the attacking Sova op. I haven't seen this since Prime Wardell days.
Yeah. And it works out, I suppose. Listen,
there we go.
Angle watch, Sender, either trying to go for a jump pick or what, we'll have to see that in the replay, but now you're seeing all this pressure onto Bone Cold. No one was watching that angle but the dart. Reveals his position, and Text is good for it. Just slightly just moving around there. Sight going to be gained.
Another good plant position. Oh no, Bazzi actually forced to go for a safe plant here.
Yeah, it drops back now, and you're seeing this lockdown being used. Attack side lockdown. Global Esports looking to see if they can get this space, but it's contacting in. Fight being taken. Twiston opting into this. Oh my goodness, in the fault line, Twiston. Oh my word, did he get detained there? Looks likely. Just couldn't quite satchel his way out of there, but there's no punish. Still, the plant goes down. Leaving Twiston alive might be a costly error.
But it is a safe plant, which is a bit more difficult to work with. You can see A-Ring's in a spot to swing up.
Going to be TPing away, actually. Just control of water is going to be so important to just hold this. It's beautiful, and the Seas catches on to two. They cannot be stopped. Twiston was detained.
Yeah, maybe that's going to bite them. But, I mean, the Vitality's retake there looking so... Just been so step. The duelist duo, if you want to call it that, but obviously mostly playing Fade here. But the way that they're syncing these things up, the Seas, the name, the swing timings, they have got such great synergy between them.
Magnificent.
And that puts Global Esports firmly on the back foot.
Yeah, this is a really rough position now for them.
Terrible stuff. I mean, pistols in hand, and SK Rossi picking up a hero rifle.
So it has to be the playmaker. Vitality, though, pushing forwards. It's a heavy take towards the front side of B, and any attempt of a punish is just offset immediately, losing two players. It's a pivot, though. Global Esports moving forwards, and still the rifle in the hands of Rossi needs to be the playmaker. But a difficult sight for them to take fault line into the back of it. Plant position is there, but the wall blocking them off. They need to move past this. Playing forwards deep onto the site. Rossi wins the first duel for them. First step of the miracle plan, tries to take the second with a wider swing, dealt with, flash timing ever so off, and Bazzi, with just a classic, there's only so much he could really do.
I love that play with the Harbor Cascade. Destrian using the Cascade and the push out of B is so good there. It blocks off the long sight line where you might be able to get punished by somebody in spawn, and it also, if someone tries to swing through it, they're slowed. So it's really difficult to help this player that gets stuck on the right. And Texture tries to help, but he's just so labored and slow. It's like going through molasses. Global Esports are going to take a timeout here as they ponder what to do. Now, SK Rossi's hero rifle hasn't hurt their economy too much here. Texture still has the Blade Storm available. So Global are going to be able to get a full buy. But if they don't win this round, it is game over. It is goodbye India. So this is the round that everything hangs on. And it's brutal, man. Yeah. Even if Global get to a plant, all of the retake ultimates are available for Vitality. I don't know how you cook up a favored round situation here for Global.
Seems so difficult. 6-11 being that scoreline. Vitality on the cusp. Being able to take away the series, take away the map. No room for error for Global Esports. And that's what this timeout is aiming to achieve, seeing if they can cook up a plan.
I think it has to be around Texture. If Texture is going to be using his knives, you want to put him in a spot to capitalize on that early on. And so either you want to be dashing him on top of the bank on A, playing inside his smoke and then swinging out of it with a flash, or I think you want to be sending him fast into C with an updraft dash and seeing if you can overwhelm Sender. I think those are the two best options for getting value out of your Jet.
There's no way.
But, I mean, you look at the positioning on the minimap, and this looks almost exploratory towards B early on. Maybe they're planning to use a Cloudburst and connect with their C players?
But again, SK Rossi has been afforded this operator.
It's strange, isn't it?
So much faith being placed into his hands.
But it's not just faith. It means that he's going to be disconnected from his team and can't use the recon or the dart to set up Twiston. They're splitting their win conditions, and it might be a compromise that hurts them.
Moving forward, slow and steady. It's the name of the game in a Rolling Thunder. They want to punish this one, and SK Rossi the nade into the corner. Can't move anywhere, still alive for now. Where's going to be dealt with? And he is finally the spray down.
A Vitality grab hold of the tempo, never allowing Global Esports a moment to imprint their pace on the map.
There needs to be an instant response here from Global Esports, and you're seeing it. Live in the flesh now as the players walk forward. Aaron, a critical kill for him. Late lurking into mid, finds his mark.
He's been good on them, hasn't he?
Yep.
These lurks have always found value from Aaron, and it's a better plant position now.
What is the play here? One yet. So close to the smoke, just about to fade. He's pushing forwards into it, and it's a run and gun. They're just trying to fight them deep into the play. A dash forwards to try and disengage here. U2 being held, a bit of run and gun, and somehow Aaron wins that one. It is so damn awkward, but it's down to that 2v2. Wall blocks the sight line, Cove as well. It needs to be spammed for. The Blazestorm just not catching it, and Texture forced to spam, forced to try and find the fight, but he can't do it. Stuck all the way through, and Vitality find themselves now on series point.
So many opportunities for Vitality. Mistakes from Global Esports, and they are gone. Look, it's best, but they're still going to have rifles. One last desperate run for Global Esports. But Vitality look like they've done the important work already.
Yeah, I mean, this is them in the driving seat and more. 3 big ultimates to their name. The util combos this time layered into A main. Dash forwards, Manel actually sticking this. Position's known though, Multi's going to be back, but it's creating an awkward timing right now. What does Multi want to do, holding the edge of this smoke? Meanwhile, Global Esports not wasting any time with this kind of pressure. That's going to be the aftershock, pushing them back out of the way. Fight needs to be taken right up close and personal. It is traded though, but still Vitality going pound to pound. And it's all down to Texture. A 1v2 to keep his team in it, just to try and survive. Texture up in the side, dashing forwards, dodging that showstopper. He knows where the positioning is. Spike in his hands, a tap of the plan, needs to force the fight, but a doubled up position is there. Vitality safe hands for them. 13-6 of the scoreline. They have sent Global Esports home.
Global Esports definitely made them work for it, but it is a win on the board for Vitality. I think both teams demonstrated some really cool stuff in this series. Vitality's split looked really well thought out. A lot of good game plans coming from Bone Cold. We saw set plays on Lotus from Vitality. The breach ult to isolate SK Rossi in those final couple of rounds was really good. And Twiston, Mulsi, Sender, the individual talent is there. But also, when you look at global esports, there were so many doubters who just thought this team was a ragtag bunch of people thrown together at the last minute that didn't have a hope. And I think that they've proved people wrong, despite the loss. Taking a map in the manner they did, and showcasing that they still had what it took to push Vitality. I think this was a decent opener for global esports, and something that they will definitely be building on as the year goes on.
That's always been the goal for a team like Global Esports, is long-term focus, high-risk, high-reward project with them picking up so many duelist players, but I think you can see glimpses of success here, but ultimately today it is Vitality who reign supreme, and this is a dark horse team heading into this tournament. I think they showed moments of sheer brilliance, and Mulsi in particular.
Yeah.
Really setting the pace in some of those rounds.
Yeah, remember those names. Twiston said earlier that they don't have any big names, any big stars on the team. But that's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
This team's got talent, it's got skill. And look at the figure down at the bottom there in the middle. Only go this year. He's pushing that boulder once again. Reality should not be underestimated. I know that this was still a close game, but they've got upset potential.
Yeah.
I spoke to Bone Cold and he said that his goal for the team, and Salah's goal for the team as well, is to be a team that you hate to go up against. Someone that when you see them in the bracket, you think, oh, crap, really, Vitality? We have to get through them? And that's what they're looking to do at Lockdown, is build that reputation for themselves. First step. The first step is winning this match right here, and they move on.
They have done that, but definitely putting the pride of EMEA on their back as well, you know, after some unfortunate early exits on the other side of the bracket. But yeah, this was a fantastic showcase, I think, from this team. My MVP, as you can see, you can take your vote here, Twiston, Mulsi, and Sender. Great options for it.
Yeah.
You're gonna ask me who I want?
Who do you want?
I would take, I think you'd have to give it to Twiston.
Yeah, I was
right?
thinking the same, yeah. I think just the way that his jet performed, he did get shut down on Pearl, so he didn't get too much value on that half. I think that was actually one of the big win conditions.
Yeah.
If your win condition is shut down Twiston and you get the win, probably means Twiston's doing pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for the first series of the day, but guess what? Don't go anywhere. There's even more Valorant action happening on the other side of this break, so we'll see you in just a few minutes.
Will it be V for victory or GE fighting? Two unknown commodities taking the stage. Unsure what we're going to get here today. Could very well be an absolute gigabanger, you know, especially with these two teams that are really just looking to try new things and grow here in Sao Paulo.
Trying to contest this one in a 1v1, but Aaron, he has to stick it. The percentage play, he needs to try and get half, and it sets up Twisted for the easy slam dunk win. B split, a heavy take into B heaven. Sender scattered out cross through the choke point, but no one is dealing with this guy. Vitality, they clean it up. Another day in the office for this team. So far, Vitality, that dark horse aura that's just been surrounding them. Looks like people weren't joking. Swinging through, no, and that spacing just not good enough. The collateral in play, and one after the other. They're trying to take the fights, but they will all fall. Twiston, and a whole lot of utility just jumped through. Takes Shadow. What an answer once more. Blade Storm.
That's what we've been missing.
That's what we've been missing. Spike drop down, and now to reswing. Reset in the aim, one after another. SK Rossi with his country represented. India taking them all the way now to map number 3 in this series. And it has to be heroics, it has to be now, one after the other. The double swing, not spacing themselves out, and it is just crumbling before them. The same errors we were talking about in map number 1, just rearing their heads there. Acting in, sees into the back, double swings there, it's beautiful. And the seas catches on to 2, just lined up. Vitality.
You're so sexy, guys. Oh my god.
Vitality safe, hands for them. 13-6. The scoreline, they have sent Global Esports home.
V for victory as Vitality push forward here at the lock-in with a 2-1 win over Global Esports. And what an exciting series that was. And let's just jump into the MVPs and who was popping off in that game, because really, I think top to bottom, we looked at it and we thought the composition for Vitality, sound, good idea, good execution, good planning. GE playing what they're familiar with, and I think that could have cost them in the end.
Yeah, I think this map did in a lot of ways come down to the composition and the read that these teams both had on the map in the offseason. In the second half, for Vitality especially, I think they had a great understanding of how to play with their comp. They went for these early gambits, then they reset and they played in with consistently fantastic retakes with Twisted popping off.
Some really curious moments. I mean, Rossi just going for that operator time and time again, playing the Sova, did get that opening.
I'm not gonna lie, they didn't do that.
So many rough moments here. The GE when they're trying to get these plants down, it ends up getting delayed. And they just go in for the retake here on the side of Vitality, and they play it to a T.
I mean, you can see the coordination on this roster. Vitality was building on pieces they already had with the core 3 players from Vitality when they were playing in VRL, plus this duo from Oglu, and everything just looked incredibly well-oiled. Well, they struggled a little bit on Pearl, and I think they have quite a bit of work to do on that attacking side.
For sure.
Other than that, this team looked very, very clean.
Yeah, that like pairing.
Cold in the mid-round, and beyond just the new players that debuted and looked good, it feels good to see Bone Cold back on an international stage. He's taken kind of his first step to return to the heights that he has hit in the past, and I think that story is going to be very exciting to follow through the rest of Lock-In.
Before we go forward though, do you think Bone Cold is like getting back to that point, or
I think so. The calls looked on point today. The coordination was good. The work he's done in the offseason with this team was fantastic.
All right.
Lotus calls in particular, just being able to pivot a lot when they were on that attacking side, I think it was a very good indication of his calling, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of it.
Yeah, same here. Well, let's, of course, it means we have to say goodbye to yet another team here in Sao Paulo, and that team is going to be Global Esports. The Miracle from Mumbai coming in and giving so much love to everyone that was here in the arena, cheering on DRX, cheering on their Pacific homies as well. Always nice to see them around, but ultimately when it came down to it, Mimi, in the server, they just couldn't quite close out that map 3. But boy, oh boy, did they have a lot of people hoping.
Yeah, and the casters ended on this point. They weren't able to win this series, but they proved that this theory of how to build a team, of putting together different pieces, can work. They had issues, but they also showed us good moments, and with more time, I think this team has a future.
Absolutely. I think we just need to see some continued growth from them. But one of the, I think the thing I loved the most about seeing them here, and you kind of touching on it, is just not only do they approach having the team be a family, but they want everybody to be a part of that family. The way that they're interacting with the crowd, interacting with us, with the other Pacific teams here, it's just such a friendly environment, and that is just, you can see like how good it is, the interior of this squad with just the smiles on everybody's faces and whatnot. So I think if they can continue to support that environment and work on their games, it's going to be a really scary global esports going into the Pacific League.
Yeah, and we should always remember, this is a new theory. Pretty much every team heading into lock-in built around the core. GE didn't. They took a risk, didn't pay off at this tournament, but it might down the road.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But look, guys, for more on that match show, let's actually go ahead and send it over to Yinsu, who I'm sure is breathing a big sigh of relief as she's going to be standing by with Bone Cold for our Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you very much, GB. You know me too well. That's right, I've got Bone Cold here with me. The last time I was on a stage with you, you were the world champion. You were lifting a trophy. How great does it feel to finally be back on another Riot stage?
It's been awesome. Like the whole stay in Brazil has been like super nice. Seeing the crowd, like I don't think has been like a nicer feeling than just like taking off your headset and then hearing, you know, like hearing the crowd roar. So yeah, it has been nice. I've been waiting to get back to the Riot stage.
It's been really nice to have you here as well. I gotta say though, when it comes to the game, a single controller harbor, interesting choice. On Destrian as well, who's been like doing incredible on the initiator role. Talk me through the thinking behind why you guys decided to show that.
I mean, for like showing the harbor, I think this is something that actually our analyst like brought to us. He thought the amount of like walls and like control you can actually get on that map with him is actually like super nice, and yeah, we were just like rolling it, and I don't know, the comp just feels like super nice to us.
I mean, it worked today, so good on you guys for going with that. One thing that didn't work though, I hate to say it, Bone Cold, pistol rounds. What's going on?
I don't know, just pistols. We were like thinking about, is it like, are we buying like way too less like frenzies? Is there something on the strats? I mean, sometimes you just need to win 0 pistol rounds in a day, so you can like the next time you win one, it's going to feel a lot better.
Yeah, one at a time. Yeah. Now, lastly, Twiston. I think he was updrafting, dashing with a shorty. It was absolutely crazy. Every single time the observers were on him, I could feel that something crazy was about to happen. What did you make of that performance, and where did you find this guy?
I'm not sure. Like since coming to Brazil, Twiston has been like absolutely like smashing it in like practice, and now of course like in officials. But I don't know. Like he's just found this energy, and like every single time I open up the scoreboard, I'm like, oh, 20-4 in the first half. All right, okay, yeah, I'm okay with this. But yeah, I don't know. Like he's one of those people who just have like this like magic around him. He will just make stuff appear out of nowhere. So it's super nice to see, you know, like Tristan, like the youngest player in the team, just popping off like that and just playing with no fear at all.
We definitely felt some of that magic today. Thank you very much, Bone Cold, for joining me, and good luck in the next round.
Thank you so much, Insu.
Well, the EMEA versus Pacific battle continues after this break. FUT will be taking on RQ.
what you're fretting for. You knew that this was coming. Tried to fight it, but you denied it.
Welcome back, everyone, to Lock In. Here we got 1 down, 2 to go. And up next, we got Footballers taking on RRQ. And joining me on the desk, we, of course, have my partner in crime, Mimi, as always. But one of my favorite humans on the damn planet, it's Balla T-Dubs. What's up, baby girl? How you doing?
What's up, bro? No, pretty good, pretty good. That was a fun game. I was really expecting Vitality to look good. But most surprising of all, I think Global Esports had a good showing. So more unknown teams, I think, coming up, and I'm really excited to watch them.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm just
every Pacific team that we've seen thus far, I think, has performed at least slightly better than I expected. So I'm excited to see another one debut here.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome now. But first, though, let's go ahead and take a look at FUT Esports, a Turkish team that, of course, is looking to rebound from a difficult preseason as well for the squad here in Balla. This is a team that they've had success, they've had ups and downs. There's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, last year they won the VRL League, the regional leagues for all of EMEA, and that's a great success for them. But then in the offseason, you mentioned it, it's been a red carpet for them. It's been like 7 losses in a row.
Yeah.
And sure, in the offseason, you're trying to experiment a little bit. You're trying to figure out how you're going to approach the new partnership system for them. And it hasn't been going that great, but it's a new beginning, I think, here at Lock-In.
Yeah, but this does feel like the next step for this team, right? If you ignore the offseason, it's been a constant upswing from playing well in Turkish VRL, winning that, heading to the VRL finals, and taking home that event. I think they impressed a lot of people who were underestimating this squad. They had some good ideas that they showed, solid coordination, and most of their players were playing fantastically individually. But I agree with you, there was quite a fall off in the offseason. Now I think heading into this event, the question is, what edition of this footballist team do we see?
Yeah, and there hasn't been too many movements here on the roster for footballers since they did take down Vitality in that finals, which is what we were just watching moments ago. And that was also a Vitality that wasn't just the one we just saw. It has 3 new players completely. So I'm really looking forward to see if they've actually evolved past anything that we saw in that VRL and how they're actually going to be using what they learned in the offseason and carrying it forward.
Yeah, and I think that's important because compared to a lot of the other teams we've seen, this is a squad that the core has been together for over a year at this point. Some of the players have been on the roster for 2 years. It's just that one change. The consistency, mental, the coordination, it should all be there.
It's funny that that's the team that actually has some of the longest cores in the tournament.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah,
it's kind of wild, especially coming from VRL. But here's the interesting thing. You know, whenever we talk about Turkish players, there's always a phrase that's thrown around, Balla.
Yeah,
the Turkish jet. And this time around, we're talking about another Turkish jet, the Turkish jet. You got yourself Kiwi, who's going to be taking a stage here. And Mimi, I'm kind of pumped to see what this guy could do because of course, we know when Jet has a W key and they live in Turkey, they just go, baby.
It feels like we've had a non-ending stream of Turkish and Korean Jets thus far this tournament, but Kiwi is one of those guys you got to look out for. He actually wasn't playing with them for some of those off-season events where they were struggling, but when they were popping off in VRL, it was this guy driving it home on Jet.
Yeah, absolutely. And he flexes as well to a number of other roles too, like the Neon too. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what he can do in a tournament of this caliber and against a team that is certainly still unknown quantity, even though, like, yeah, we watched Boom Esports and Elmi Moore as well in the LCQ last year. It's kind of more known than an EU team that only played in the VRL for the most part. So it's higher level competition for sure and more pressure on the stage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Indeed, there definitely will be. But here's the thing. Let's go ahead and actually hear from Mr. Fallen as well as Maj about their 2023 outlook and what it means to play for Turkey during this very difficult time.
Ben Mr. Fallen, FUT Esports takımında RCL'im. Takım olarak yaklaşık 1 yıldır birlikte oynuyoruz. Benim gelmemle birlikte aslında takım tam oturdu. 1 yılın meyvesini umarım bu sene yiyeceğiz. Takımımızın duelisti Kiwi, kendisi bütün maçlarda bütün enerji, coşku veren kişi kendisi aslında. Krax aslında takımın gizli bir silahı ama bütün işi kendi yükleniyor. Aslında takımın kendisi bir supporter'ı. Bu yüzden kendisi takımın en önemli rollerinden birini yükleniyor şu an. Atakaptan takımın en yeni üyesi. Kendisi şu an flex rolde oynuyor. En cana yakınımız herhalde Ata. Bu konuda hiçbir şüphe yok. Kiwi'de de en yakın arkadaş. Moj takımın sentineli, takımın abisi, arkayı kollayan ve bütün herkese sakin olmasını emreden tek kişi takımdaki.
Ben Burak.
For the Turkish teams competing at this event, it means even more. The more you can do, if you can show that moment of light and pop off here, it kind of adds an extra reward to that, to see that happiness.
For sure. Very, very well said. And well, let's go ahead and move on though to their opponents on the other side of the field. They're going to be facing off against RRQ, which, you know, has a very familiar story here at Lock-In, right? A successful core mixed in with new faces. What you expect to see when this season launches, Bala. Something a little fresh here. RRQ, though, I feel like has been the talk of the town for many reasons coming into this event.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Some good, some bad. I think the mix of players that they put together from the Indonesian side has definitely spurred some excitement from that region. And then the Filipino players, they're kind of carryovers from this team in their challengers runs in the past couple of times as well. We're wondering what can we expect from them. But for Flipsider, for Tabado, these are guys we saw play in last year's champions, and they had some good things to take away from that in that game against Optic.
Sure.
I mean, Tabado still holds the kill record for any global VCT tournament, so that's still pretty exciting.
Yeah, they had their moments, but I think now it's going to be about putting the pieces together. Because for Tabado, he's coming into this roster that, like you said, was already freestanding. He's taking up a lot of the leadership roles, similar to how he did on Boom. And I think that's the biggest question here. How can they come together? Because for most of these players, this will be their first time competing where they're speaking English. Before, both these kind of halves of this team were competing either on full Indonesian rosters or full Filipino rosters. So this is a big change, which I think is going to be quite difficult for them to get used to.
Yeah, and I also, I mean, just looking at the highlights from Tabado's game here, just the fact that they're able to pull an overtime map against Optic is enough, right? That speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And when we see all the Pacific teams that are competing at this event and overplaying their expectations from the Western audience, I think for most of us, we underestimated them completely. It gives me the hope that I'm going to see it again, because you already have that upstart from those two players that have played on a stage like this.
Are you saying NA fans doubt international competition?
Not just NA fans, not just NA fans, NA casters, EU casters.
I don't like
everybody be underestimated.
Papi, I don't like the way you're talking to me right now, okay? Okay? All right, well, look, here we do have a player, though, to highlight, and one of the guys that, you know, I think is coming into this with a fair amount of hype, maybe. It's going to be Elmimor, who is a fresh face for myself. I haven't really got a chance to see him play, but I'm excited to see what he does on the stage.
Yeah, the thing is, though, Elmimor has a lot of respect at home in the APAC scene. People have been talking about this guy as a big up-and-comer for quite a while, and now he gets his chance to debut on the international stage. The streets have been talking. Apparently, at one time, he got offered to join Paper X, turned that down, came and played this team as well. I've also heard from the streets, apparently this guy is as good as Forsaken. He's living up to the expectations.
How often are you on the streets, Mimi?
I'm talking to a lot of them. Avenues, roads, streets, all of the above. And I've got some information that has my expectations very high.
Yeah.
No, not courts. They don't give good information. I learned the hard way.
Fair enough. Stay out of the courts, man. Good. I think for Elmimor and as well for the other Indonesian players on this team, it's interesting because they came from the two best Indonesian teams, right? Boom qualified for champions, and then Onyx G, which is the team that Elmimor was playing for after purportedly not signing with Paper X, is the team that lost to them in that finals. And he was so good. So to see that mesh and go together, and now they're joining this Rex region team is really, really, really exciting.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it, and I want to get to know a little bit more about this squad. So ahead of Lock-In, we actually sat down with Flipsider and Tabado for a closer look at the team. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Hi, my name is Saibani Rahmat. My in-game name is Flipsider. My role in the team is IGL, and then I play for Rex Regum Keon, RRQ.
Hi guys, my name is Tebotol. I play for team Rex Regum Keon, and I play controller for the team.
First, I think I'm gonna start with the Indo boys. Tebotol is my old teammate. He quiet guy, I think, and then he plays smoker in the team. And then the second one is Elmimor. He's like literally the most quiet person in the team. And then his role is initiator. And then the third one is EJ. He's the hyperactive in the team.
EJ is the clown. He's like making silly jokes and stupid things.
And then the fourth one is Eman.
Eman is like the cool guy in our team. He's quiet and I don't know, he's just cool.
And then the last one is 2G. He's quiet also. He's quite introvert, and then he plays smoker. Last year at champion, I think we learned a lot from the previous tournament.
It was my first big international LAN, right? And then I dropped 38 on my first LAN. That's why it's boost my confidence. And fun fact, I make a tattoo about it. This is my agent I use against Optic. It's the Viper, and I had 30 kills against Optic. This is the number 38. I had good first LAN, and I think my second LAN, I hope it's gonna be better.
I think my goals should be able to qualify for master and also champion. I hope my team can do it. I think we can put so much damage. Just watch out maybe.
All right, well, something I thought was awesome was seeing the tattoo on the 38 kills. That was no, but like honestly, it's like that's
It's
what
cool
this
stuff.
means to these players,
Yeah.
you know? Like having experienced that, being able to pull off an incredible feat such as that is awesome, Bala.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I mean, just to watch not only what they perform on the stage, but just how they are overall is really, really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool to see. But this matchup is going to be an interesting one. It is Football's kind of first time debuting on the international stage. They've been on this upward swing, and now they're facing a team that we've seen some of their pieces before, but don't really have full expectations for. This match could really go either direction.
Yeah, and those are the types of matches that you want to see. You don't want to go into something and be like, oh, this is going to be just a easy clap for Team A, easy clap for Team B. No, no, no. You want to see a good competitive matchup, and I think that's exactly where we're going to get right here. So let's go ahead and bring out our two teams. We have FUT Esports and RRQ. Before we begin, we wanted to pay our respects to all those impacted by Turkey as well as Syria and the earthquake with a moment of silence. events unfold globally, we are, of course, saddened, and our hearts go out to everyone in Syria as well as Turkey who have been impacted by this. And we, of course, hope for nothing but the best and provide our love and support for everyone around the world. Thank you so much. And thank you to RRQ as well for taking the time to be able to sit back and reflect on this moment alongside their brethren from Turkey. Thank you so much once again. That being, you know, obviously a thing that weighs on these players, right? It's something that, you know, and talking to a lot of these players, whether it be, you know, from BBL, for example, chatting with our dear friend Vlad, there was obviously a lot of pressure on these players, but also for them, I think it's an opportunity to make their countrymen proud, regardless of the result, because they're here right now, putting it all out there on the stage. And ultimately, that is all, you know, that we can hope for.
Yeah, and obviously continue to support as well, because it's an ongoing situation. So it is on the minds. But now they got to play this match, and yeah, it's resting on them. But here we go, single elimination tournament.
That's right,
and it's all here.
You know, both teams, and I think FUT Esports would want it no other way. They would want RRQ to play them hard, go at them, do everything that they can to pick up this win, because we all know that that is exactly what FUT Esports are going to do against RRQ here today, Mimi.
If anything, it means even more for them right now to go out there, play their best, show what they have been preparing, and try and win this game, try and stay in it. Of course, RRQ doing exactly the same.
All right, well, as both players get into their huddles and they get ready to go, we are going to dive into our Prime Gaming Agent Select as soon as we are ready. Oh, excuse me, our map vetoes as soon as we're ready to go here. And yeah, you know, Paul, I'm genuinely curious to see what we're going to get here from FUT. What have they really worked on in the offseason to kind of give them a little bit of an advantage here against RRQ?
Yeah, it's interesting because I was actually seeing a lot of the maps that are gone now from the pool in there. But let's see, I've always thought Ascent is kind of a map that they like to rely on, and we have Lotus starting out for RRQ. We've already seen so many of the Pacific teams being comfortable playing this map. We just saw GE play it, and yeah, picking it right off the bat. No floating, nothing, just going right at them.
I think all these teams that are picking Lotus early, it is really a test of your opponent's offseason preparation. It's from your scrims. You have faith that the idea that you've implemented on that map is one that, even if it's not the optimal one, is one that can catch them by surprise enough to win that match. FUT will head to Pearl as the second map in the pool there. That's going to be another interesting one for them. Another map that we've seen quite a lot of thus far this tournament.
Yeah, and I'm really interested on what kind of comp they're going to bring out on Pearl as well, given the flexibility that Kiwi has gone to, and we're having
reverse of map 1.
This is nice. I like
the reverse of map 1. We started off with Split, then we have Pearl, then we have Lotus. Now we're just flipping on its head, and we're going right back around over here, Mimi. But do you think this is going to go to 3?
I think it's very possible. I think these teams are quite closely matched, but where a lot of this is going to come down to is what are the answers to this map on Lotus? We just saw 2 different compositions come out. One focused on the early gambits with the Raze, the Breach.
Yeah.
One going for the Jet answer as well. There's a Reyna hover from RRQ. I mean, there's still comps that we probably haven't even seen yet.
Okay, well, let's see. Reyna hover would blow my mind. Okay, well, we have Prime Gaming Agent Select here. Let's see what RRQ likes to do here.
I think let him cook. I think Reyna has potential on the map. I think the flashes are really good here. They have the Neon to take early fights, and that's what they're going for.
This is awesome.
Oh my goodness. Reyna Neon on this map is not something I thought I would ever see. And double Neon too, which is kind of a rare pick so far. This is going crazy. You have the Sage, the Paper X-esque thing that's going on for Footballlist, and paired with the Neon, that could be quite good. 2
brand new comps on the brand new map. We're going to get to see both these teams' answers. This is going to be exciting.
Oh boy, I love it, and I hope you guys are all strapped in for a wild ride. Let's go ahead and send it over to the hottest casting team in Brazil, literally, because Seth is sweating. It's Pansy and Achilleos.
It's warm-up here, GB. It's an exciting game. You know, you get a little moving.
He's one to talk as well.
Yeah,
about
to be
sweating.
fair, get him a solo. Get it real close up and see how he's doing end of the day. Anyway, let's focus on the matchup at hand, because I think I liked what Mimi said about this, at least map select-wise, that Lotus is quite indicative of that off-season prep. How well you're ready for this. You're coming in with some very unique compositions. I'm going to leave you to that Reyna choice, because that's got to be at the forefront of your mind here.
It really is. I mean, Emin bringing this one out, it's the first time we've seen Reyna. This now means that we have seen every single agent in the pool having been played here. We'll see how they pilot this, but as Bala was touching on as well, Neon's on either side. These people going for that raise instead, but right off the rip, here they come.
Yeah, there's going to be walls galore, but already, good start for RRQ. Going to deny Kiwi any space, and he's one of the explosive players. If he gets that hot hand early, really starts feeling out the game, super deadly. Want to see how this Reyna works, so that is so at the tip of the list for me in this point. Now, as it stands though, RRQ comfortably taken towards site. There is a little bit of resistance, but it's been dealt with somewhat handedly. Good trade sights theirs. Flag planted, and as is the spike.
Reyna's on the board, now has that higher HP, given the Devour. Shadow's still going to be taken down. Maj looking around here at the drop, managing to find an opening kill. Gets Tebatol in the head as well.
Nice.
And suddenly it's Emin. They 1v2, he finds the first.
It's one more and it's all his, but time creeping forces the swing, and it's good. Football has somehow turned this around. That early fight looked perfect coming out from RRQ. They had everything they wanted.
A fantastic shutdown on Kiwi to kick things off, but a fantastic turn at the end as Helicopter just manages to find that last kill. Felt like Emin had that one in his grasp, but it gets stolen away. That's the first round out. Let's see if Foot can hold on to this next one, or if it gets snatched away from him, much like we saw for Global Esports in the previous set. But a great retake and a great way to start off the series.
And a sigh of relief for Foot as well. Just getting comfortable on the stage. Yes, we have seen them break out occasionally into some more international events, but they certainly do not have comfort on a stage like this. There's certainly a little bit more pressure to it. We have seen them have issues in the past with that sort of thing, is finding consistency throughout series, not getting put off kilter on those early maps. So a good start for them could stabilize here well, but RRQ certainly not to be slept on by this early start.
Cam heard and destroyed. More just looking for those headshots. Nano swarms in response in case he swung out a little bit wider. So continue to try to hover around that A side. Meanwhile, pressure being applied now onto C. Wall going to be broken down after shots out. Here's Mr. Fallen, finds one, but Emin swings around the corner, gets him with the Sheriff.
No trade, the slow, allowing that spacing to sit favorably, at least for now, towards Foot, and the rotations have been brought in. 3 players now posted towards that C site. Yes, they have left Kiwi over towards A just because of the presence earlier from Elmi Moore, but as it stands, they can re-explore the map. See if Krax gets anything off that. Certainly does. So information, obviously the door noted as well, so it's not too subtle at this point. Still have that utility in place. Finally removed at about the 40-second marker. They could potentially try and pull another pick here. Let's see what they can find. Does anyone get over aggressive? Does anyone get caught out?
Just barely been able to see Maj there either way. With the Vandal in hand. Take a shot to the chest, but wins out on the fight. Now it's just the 2 last players standing. Flipshot and Tebatol, the veterans, for the side of RQ to try to get this eco round across the board for them. The plant will come in, but Kiwi swings the corner. They find the eliminations, and that is going to be a 2-0 start for Foot.
Have to say as well, Foot not getting overzealous there, not feeding too readily, not getting too ahead of themselves. Everyone being incredibly cautious. Yes, that was that initial trade towards the C site, but no pressure on them yet. I like that. I like seeing composure in this team. When I look at Football List, again, this is, because we've seen a fair amount of them in the EMEA region, I want to see discipline coming into effect. I want to see good spacing, good trading. All those fundamentals, I want to see them hold throughout this series. So far, composure kept, not too threatening in the second round. We didn't see the, Spectres or Stingers or anything beyond a couple of Sheriffs. So as it stands, RRQ still looking like they're working the map, getting the feel of it and the lay of the land. I still want to see what that Reyna does.
I mean, so far, he's been doing quite a bit. Most right now for the team with that 3-2. Now with rifles in hand, RQ, this is where they need to start building some momentum. Looks like it might be another fast hit out the gate. As they go rushing forward, Flash does connect. Perfectly blind as we just have these cross lanes.
It's like noughts and crosses over there, but there is one player ahead and EJ gets isolated. There's no trade. They're desperate for it. Bottle swings, but Football is putting bodies towards this. They want that fight towards A-Long.
I mean, they just completely douse the ground with that slow field from the Sage. Just no way for Bottle to just get himself out of there. He manages to find the 1 kill. Let's see what Emin and Flipshatter can do to try to at least put a little bit more damage down onto the side of Footballist. Have themselves crept up all the way to ace stairs. If he overswings and gets pinched, that's just going to be the spike stranded.
Yeah, Krax needs to be careful though as well. If he goes down, there's a deep hold towards CT, could be potential. Oman doing exactly as required, as prescribed. Clear the site, ensure no one's around here. Holding for about 45 seconds. And this is what I want to see from Footballist though. No overextension, no over push here on your own, no untradeable kills. RRQ, what do you do with this now? You've been given a little bit of freedom. Spike is going down, so the time will be in their side.
I have a little bit of time, but one of the biggest things they need to do is get Emin this kill. So you get the Devour off, you top back up. They're gonna fault line, he's gonna go for the swing. He's
good.
got them both lined up, but he just can't quite find the eliminations.
Yeah, spacing decent enough there for Footballist. It's going to ask a lot of it. Oh, no way. The paranoia. Zero vision, zero chance. Footballist again. They relinquish that A control. They fall back a little deeper, hold CT. You saw cracks down there. They took the double swing towards stairs. They were fully equipped for what was going to be coming back their way. This is great so far. Converting the bonus here. Walking out with rifles galore. They got everything they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, just that defensive setup, shutting down those pushes over towards Rubble on the A side have been looking really good so far. See how that continues, as it seems like that's widely just going to be Kiwi's playing ground, just constantly hovering around that side. But RQ are now swinging their sights over towards C, perhaps. See if they want to up the tempo, because they are going in. 4 Stingers, half armor on everybody, just a Sheriff there for Elmimore.
You've got to say that there was a rock'em sock'em fight over towards A. There was a lot of utility behind it, a lot of presence. This could be a quick response, maybe test that C site if that's what they think is a potential vulnerability. As it stands, they're going to make it work with far less. They need a quick kill to make this actually count. The wall's going to at least temper the pace for a second, but the smokes are there. They want to utilize this.
Goes down for a brief moment, tries to slide in. Oh, it's just going to be a stray shot through the smoke. Oh, that's disgusting from Attic Upton. Takes them down. Spike still, however, going to be planted for RRQ. See how they try to defend this now.
The retakes have been solid, though, from Footballist, but this time trying to get over-aggressive, overextend towards CT, and they get the fight they want. But the trade's still so good from Footballist.
Get the triple stack. Templeton will be able to take another one down with him. 3 members left standing. As Foot will be able to go ahead and counteract the Stinger buy, but cash decent, so Rifle's going to be coming through for RQ, but they need to get something on the board here soon. Don't want to let this run away from you, especially on the attack half.
You're absolutely right. I've got to say, though, staying alive with 3 vast majority of these rounds, they've been keeping so many standing. They've been upgrading the rifles. The economy is so well situated. Crack's already on 7.2. You've got 5.8 towards the Sage out here. You've got the Res on board. You've got the lockdown there. They've got a lot going their way, and it's these retakes, again, I am just enamored with. So well composed, poised, not overextending, which is something we've question with some Turkish squads. They get very aggressive, hyper aggressive, and when you have a player that can pop off, sometimes it looks really good, right? Yeah. But right now the composure is sitting really nicely, dealing with the site takes coming out from RRQ that have been pretty deadly. They have been posturing towards taking some of these rounds.
They absolutely have been. Still need to see a bit more involvement though. EJ Flipshider at the moment sitting there killless. Still 1 orb away, so maybe the game plan, as they have this timeout rolling, is going to be to try to get Flipshider either over to something, an orb, set him up for some kind of elimination, get that Rolling Thunder online, and use that so that they can break into the site.
Honestly, give me a nice lurk. Give me something like that, because again, you have been getting the spike down. You have been doing really well in that regard. Yeah. You've been getting into those post plants. Give me something on the back line. Be disruptive. See what you can achieve in this. Again, we have been seeing that late positioning coming out from the rotations, though. They're not completely vulnerable to it, but I'd love to see a little bit of pressure to be disruptive towards it.
I mean, you're mentioning those lurks. Tebathal, he is the king of it on this team. I mean, he's the reason why you saw them be able to take that breeze away from Optic. He was such a thorn on their side, constantly hanging back when he was there with Boom Esports. If they can get to a site relatively cleanly, get that spike down, and Tebathal is allowed to lurk back, catch people off guard, he can do an immense amount of damage here to the side of football. So we'll just have to wait and see if they can pull it off. So we exit the timeout. Let's see what they've got cooked up for us. Yeah, so far, it's just that Omen TP that they have.
Flipsider is 1 away, so that could be something to see if he can build towards this time around. Early smoke gets negated by EJ, so that's going to be space taken towards C, and a little bit of presence noted. That's, if anything, maybe going to cause some of these rotations to come into effect, sit deeper towards the sites. I don't mind Footballists going through a little bit of the motions here, being responsive in kind, but I want to see if RRQ have come up with a plan to try and punish this.
They have to know that it's Flipshider, the one who manages to get that orb. Should fully expect that he's got the Rolling Thunder, and if he hadn't gotten the orb, well, he's got the Rolling Thunder now.
Feels like the first pick without a trade that we've had in a while. This is the perfect start for RRQ to potentially, I guess, oppose the narrative that we've seen so far.
And without Mr. Fallen, all that obfuscation, those smokes, able to really slow up these attacks onto the sites, that all goes away. So RRQ should have a site just wrapped up in a bow for them, served up on a silver platter. Their sights right now are set to A.
I want to see if Kiwi's tempted to stick around, or if, backing away again, sitting a little bit deeper to the top side of site.
Actually going to
go through fake. Yeah, this could be quite nice. Again, pressuring towards that B site. This could be good, especially with the ult now in effect. Should hold this down well. Does give space for the rest to come in, so we are back up to 5 standing now for Footballist.
The lockdown is And it's just around the corner. They would love to be able to try to take it out, but it's just way too risky, so they all back away as time ticks down. Lurk around the back, and it's Flipscheider. Watching Kiwi eliminated. Cracks taken down. Rolling Thunder now going to be used defensively here for the post plant.
Oh.
Then while he does get caught, he still manages to find a kill, and they will clean it up. RQ now on the board.
Love that. Pulled them around the map. It was so hard to pin them down. That early contact towards C. Yeah, they got that free pick, obviously, for RRQ through the smoke. You'll take it any day of the week you get it.
For sure.
Yes, the risk came up, but by that point, they're already tested towards A. They were showing a little bit of presence there, pulling these rotations out of position, and then hitting that B site so well. They had to respect the lockdown, yes, absolutely, but they were ready to come back into it too. The ult coming through just as required. So again, lovely time to stamp their authority onto the game, maybe hit the brakes on Futbolist getting too much momentum beside them. But we noted the economy earlier, it was healthy. We're seeing the operator coming out now for Futbolist.
Yeah. On Kiwi as well. See if we can get anything done. For now, it's just going to be backing away widely, surrendering the C site. Let's see where he decides to creep back up. Smoke is there, 3 people getting ready to push in. It's going to be Lear off the rip. He just continues to hold the angle, utilizing that pillar, making sure that he doesn't have that line of sight and doesn't get blinded.
All the smoke's being invested so far from Futbolist. Valorant just about getting one back on now. Looking for that execute towards that B side. Let's see what the hold's looking like though. Moj is here, and you can see the utility is in place, but this is all being tested around the minute mark. This is fine. They still have time for a pump towards another side. And they're pulling players here.
Yeah, it looks perfectly intentional. Just put that pressure on B, burn out all of that Killjoy utility, so if they have to do a last-second adjustment, they can. They don't have to worry about it. And now they're just shoving Kiwi off these angles. Great relay bullet out from EJ. Just denying him line of sight, but as that paranoia comes across, Maj is going to find Flipscheider.
Yeah, and that's the spike now left somewhat unattended to. Spam comes in. They're looking to try and offset the timing here, playing back in ahead of this. Spike still down. The perfect flash. Great work from Cracks. Swings in, and now just one left standing in a 1v3. 20 seconds. This would need miracles to make happen.
It would be a monstrous clutch if he could pull it off with 67 HP and Op staring at you from Waterfall. The odds are definitely stacked against him, and now he's only got 12 seconds. Pushes up, will find one. The up shot whiffs. But he needs to either take the fight or go for the plant. Doesn't have it. Tries to swing out, and of all things, it's a classic that finishes it. Kiwi just turns the tide right back into their favor.
Yeah, that pendulum swings right back through, doesn't it? They should be able to still get some sort of purchase for RRQ. I want to see what they go for. There will be some missing elements here, but this time super responsive. I love that little counter hit almost towards the side here. The pop flash through the smoke, just perfect, and Cracks making the most of it. Again, individually, I have to say it, we've been waiting a long time for the Turkish scene to have that team to really look good together.
Sure.
You've seen glimmers of it. We've seen the Turkish Jets come through. Early Valorant lifetime. We love to see what they brought out. Maybe this is the best look we've seen for them so far, but it's still early days. But a little bit of a pace change this time.
Pretty fast push up here into B. This time, Killjoy Util fully dumped over towards C, just given that RQ have been widely swinging over towards that side of the map. Not getting too much of anything out here. Just a couple taps through that smoke. Mr. Fallen just praying for a stray headshot again.
And I like the adjustment, though. We do see the Killjoy utility now invested towards the C site. Kiwi's starting to get a little bit more confident as well, exploring the map, seeing the value of this in these individual fights. Just not favorable towards RRQ. They're not making any benefits on these isolated exploration missions. Now slowly building towards A, it's just going nowhere. A crumbly round this time, unfortunately. Not making any of those rifles find footing. So now, sadly, for Flipside, what are you meant to do with this? You've already got one player sat super deep towards the back of the A. That's going to be Kiwi. Posted up with that operator, and it's done. This is lovely work from Futbolist. I like these adjustments. I like these mid-round changes they're coming up with. This looks really solid.
Unfortunately for the side of RRQ, they have that double push getting ready to try to go and breach into B, but it just isn't really accompanied by much. You don't have that Lear to try to lead them through, and then from there, it's just swing after swing, pick after pick for the side of Futbolist.
And that's dreamy stuff for a player like Kiwi. You give him these individual fights one by one.
Sure.
He's being hyper-mobile on the map too, which is great. I guess it works kind of nicely with the Neon, just swiftly getting through towards the sites, but really well implemented so far, quite safe with how he's playing it. But again, this time we've seen the money start to really crumble for RRQ. Prior times, we saw them kind of lean towards that early C contact and then kind of hit towards B as well. We see them being quite fluid with this, not afraid to get a little aggressive. So this could be a little bit maybe of a chance here for them, but I'm worried at 6-1, it does start feeling a bit one-sided.
It definitely does. You can see them just, again, applying some pressure over here towards C Mound. They grab the orb with the Flipshider, just trying to get another Rolling Thunder up during this half. Everybody shifts over, starts walking over towards B. Stingers, the Sheriff in hand. An overdrive at the ready for EJ. Being able to get a Thrifty, I think, would be such a big momentum swing for them. If they could pull it off here, that's going to really put some wind in their sails. Give them some confidence.
Really nice burst towards the site. They are... Oh, no way! The setup again! They just aren't getting this pin down. This time Moj does find them, takes away that front line, but they are vicious about this. It's a 3v2, it's not over yet. And Elmimore is desperately fighting this out.
He's got the Neural Depth, but now he's going to be taken down, and just before they can get the location reveal, Kiwi comes in to finish the job. I mean, a fantastic attempt at a Thrifty, even with EJ dying right off the rip to those Nanoswarms. Elmimore says, get in the backpack, I'm carrying. 3 fantastic shots from him, but unfortunately, it is a double ult commitment there at the same time here for RQ.
And this is one of those frustrating rounds too, because you feel like, oh, we're just on that verge, so close by. Forcing a fair amount of utility out of Footballist, forcing them to invest that ult from Kiwi, trying to playing safety net on it because it started to get out of hand there. But again, it falls short. It's still just slipping away from them. They do have a buyback in, and we see the madness once again over towards A.
But it's Kiwi who finds that first kill. Typical able to trade one back. Paranoia going to go crashing across. As he swings wider out behind Rubble. Yeah, he will fight out of Captain, but now Elmimore taken down, trying to get that slow creep into B. Again, the veterans remaining, but the veterans continue to deliver.
Tabottle is so clean as well. Loving the work in this round. Cracks back to the wall.
Do they read this?
But the flank's coming in. It feels inevitable. Mr. Fallen is on the way. And RRQ have paused for thought here.
The wall's still blocking, but it's getting ready to dissipate. Jump up over the top, finds one. Templeton now needs to ace if they want to get a second round on the board. He's got the spike. He's TPing across, gets himself into C.
Yeah, playing it safe, playing it smart. It buys him time. Now, obviously, he doesn't 100% know where Cracks may be, but he's got a good read, it feels. How does he position in this? He has a little bit of freedom to play with, but that is now gone. He's heard him.
Taking the door. Templeton, does he actually aggro swing this? It looks like he's thinking about it. He's considering it. Knife goes out. He's happy to get hit by it, and as he goes for the fight, it's Cracks who comes away with the win.
Heartbreak for Tebato to be that close, that close. But you gotta say, try and take a 1v1 duel against Turkish players in clutches. You're brave, I'll give you that. And sadly, again, so close. How many of these rounds are down to one player now, like getting on the site, getting the plants they need, the brawls they need, and it just slips away.
They're right on the cusp of being able to rack up a couple extra rounds. I mean, heroic moves there from Tebato. Just need a little bit more from the rest of the team. And you do have to keep in mind that these are 3 very unknown players on the global stage here in Elmimore, and as well as EJ. They don't have that much experience, and they're very reliant on the guidance of Flipshider and Tebato to get themselves, mentally prepared for a tournament of this caliber.
And this is probably one of the most prepared games I've seen from Footballist, it feels like, or the most adjusted. I'm seeing great things from them already. This is wonderful news. Fallen though on an island still. Oh my god, the value of this man! The utility work is divine, the support systems are there, and RRQ are in tatters.
Fortunately, it's just a little bit late, that swing off the Lear. They don't get themselves in there, they don't get that punish, and they allow for Mr. Fallen to be able to stabilize and find those 2 crazy kills. Push out, and Elmimore just, again, trying to get himself into a position where he can get the jump on somebody, but Kiwi just continues to have the right read, continues to hold the right angles. And now it's just Tebato with a judge. Grab an orb, eat the knife, see what he can do.
Temptation, just a few steps away, but that step may as well have been miles at that point. Cracks shuts it down, and sadly for RRQ, close but no cigar. All of these times we're seeing it 9-1 now. The scoreline is just drastically in favor of Footballist. But this is the one thing I will say. Seeing the veto, when I saw Ascent being banned, I thought, what the hell is Footballist doing? If you know any Turkish Valorant, that was their mainstay, their stronghold, one of their best maps to lean towards ever. Always good, always competitive. If they've been back in the lab and reworking map pools, reworking everything, we could see a resurgence here for Footballist. Again, hard to take context. This is still that round 1 game, essentially, in the Omega bracket. But as it stands, they've come out swinging.
It's looking really clean. Granted, again, maybe sometimes you just need to have that slow start. It's unfortunate for RQ that it is here on their map pick, but we saw what Global was able to do,
Yes.
bouncing back into that series after getting trounced on the first map. So they're certainly not out of this set yet.
No.
But they need this timeout to do wonders for them. They need to get these last 2 rounds on the board for themselves, because this is the second time out as well, Lauren. They're throwing it down, trying to see if they can make something happen. And then that's kind of just the coach casting the players out to see in the second half, saying, well, unless footballs have to call something, I won't be talking to you again until after this map.
Yeah, and I think for footballists, they are living large, right? They have everything favorable to them. The ults are sitting pretty. You got 3 to play with here. Yes, missing out on the res and I guess the Neon ult, but again, the money's flush. They're not particularly dependent on anything. They couldn't have asked for a better debut here. I think maybe correcting some's opinions or predisposed notions towards footballists, but for RRQ, it's a little bit of a stun coming through, leaving them a little bit in trouble here. Now you're starting to see footballists getting a little bit more aggressive, exploring the map a bit more. Seeing Farland set into motion here. Nice little flash over towards C, but it's cleared. They know now exactly what's coming. They should be able to sit accordingly towards this. It's a different look for sure, but again, we haven't seen them make progress this far. Okay, that's not bad. This should be a competitive round.
Yeah, this time footballs don't have that heavy stack defensive setup over towards A, so RRQ are able to get themselves up to the door with relative ease. A little bit of tap damage as well. Did force the heal out of Atacopton, so now it's going to be the Rolling Thunder perhaps out onto the side. Looks like they decide to hold this one. The fault line, however, still manages to clip
How's
him.
he alive? He's got everything. If he gets a kill, I'm done. Okay. The man is oh my god, the TP and the body spray as well to boot. The lockdown's still into play. They have to evacuate and make it quick.
But they can just cut over straight into B. EJ finding the kill as well onto Cracks. And now the spike will just be ushered in. Kiwi able to find one more. But he might also think that he's safe from behind, and that could be a potential lurk in from Debitol to get in around the backside.
First time with huge favorable numbers. They're sat in this post plant. That operator tricky to bring into these right positions. Wait and see if Moj can find some success maybe, but again, they're not being given anything. RRQ are going to hold on to this with both hands, desperately trying to at least claw a second round on the board. Moj clearing as best he can, but you noted it. Even the back line there in case that fight went wrong. Tabottle was ready for the swing. And now the final player for Kiwi. I mean, money is flush, but why would you give it away for free?
Yeah, definitely don't want to do that. So we'll just go ahead and hold on to this one. Still a slow the creep around here from Elmore, and he's got him.
Really nice.
So nothing else. We should just have this 5v5 for the attempted retake now, assuming that they can get the spike down. It's good damage out of the Cracks to begin. 7 HP, Mr. Fallen going to be picked off, and here goes Tebitol on a nice little lurk around the back. Just gets spotted by an alarm bot.
Yeah, still a little bit of fight in them yet though. Moj Kiwi in combination. It's a 2v2, 15 seconds. And where's the spike going?
Sprinting it over towards B. They just run it down. Tebitol again wants to get himself in a spot where he can potentially catch some people off guard. Heard the slide. Kiwi should not be ready for this, but he is. The swap to the Phantom, absolutely crucial.
And now the 1v 2. So much pressure. Give them that gateway, that slither of hope. The first, but the ult in the back. Kiwi keeps footballers heading for success. 10 rounds to be etched on.